specialty. But first, we're going to kind of walk through just a few of the current conditions that we're dealing with, and also, of course, our weather impact alert icons for tonight. So we are expecting the weather to continue to really ramp up and intensify here locally over the next few hours. We have that weather impact alert from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. So now through about 4 o'clock in the morning due to severe storms. So as we've been saying all week and as we've been saying all night, if you caught us on news or on our previous stream, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings, especially ways that can wake you up in the middle of the night. Today has been a very windy day, definitely a two hands on the steering wheel kind of day with those wind gusts as high as about 45 or so miles per hour. We've been under that wind advisory as that warm front's been lifting. We're definitely feeling that warm air. Temperatures today topped out in the lower 80s, and you can see where that front is situated, where temperatures a bit cooler in areas like St. Louis, 67 degrees there, 64 in Mount Vernon, but we are sitting at 82 in Louisville, and we have all that humidity along with it. So we're at 61 for a dew point right now. Now, taking a look at the radar, most of Kentuckiana still quiet for now, but you can tell all of the activity that is off to our south and also off to our west. We've been tracking a lot of warnings off to our west so far this evening, really lining up with that high risk outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. And any time where you see a graphic like this, yellow or orange, that color, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's due to winds 60 miles per hour or higher, quarter-sized hail or higher. And then the red, tornado warning. When we have a purple outline on that red, that means a tornado has been spotted. And of course, green, flash flood warnings. And we are expecting a little bit of everything as we head into tonight. In fact, we are included in a tornado watch now until 2 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. This does include much of the, of course, Kentuckiana viewing area here. So I do want to bring John in so we can kind of talk about the storms that we have been watching so far this evening. If you joined us on the TV side of things earlier, we were watching these renegade storms down in Tennessee, and you called it something that we have to continue to watch out ahead of that main line. So what have you been seeing this evening with these storms?
Okay, the storms in southern Kentucky, let's kind of go through them. The one that's east of Bowling Green right now is definitely one to watch, but that rain that has been falling all around Mammoth Cave and Glasgow, Munfordville, that area down there has really been thwarting the low levels to totally wrap around and produce a tornado. They got severe thunderstorm warning. You got it up on the screen right now. That will probably, if I was a betting man, they'll go another severe that will go into Barron County, cover places like Cave City and Glasgow. All right, let's go to the west. The next one up there is the one that's coming out of Todd and Logan counties. That's become more elevated. That's probably going to be a heavy rainer and a little wind gusting out right now. I do not see a tornado threat on that right now. And then we look at the one that is most concerning to Mallory and I right now, is the one southwest of Evansville, towards Uniontown and Mount Vernon. That's moving off to the northeast at 55 out of the Paducah office. That's a really good warning. If you zoom in really close, you can see right to the left there, you see a hook echo right in there. So that is trying to wrap around. If you look really, really close on the very bottom, that's probably a good signature that could be a tornado on the ground right now. That's the total hook going around. So folks, any of your friends that are in Evansville, east of Mount Vernon, for heaven's sakes, they got hit by a tornado last year. That one is the most concerning. That could get into our viewing area in Du Bois County, in about an hour-ish or so, hour and a half. That's the one that's most concerning. Then, look to the west. All you see is a red line of it's a chaos, line of red chaos. So that goes all the way from northeast from Terre Haute through the Vincennes, just down to Cape Girardeau. In fact, that's a really nasty storm just northeast of Cape Girardeau. That's probably a tornado on the ground, places just to the west of Vienna and Goreville, way out of our area, but letting you know that that area and the lightning has exploded on that. That line is coming. For the Kentucky area, that will be here around 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11, 11:30, depending on as it gets in. That will produce a lot of wind, a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, and isolated tornadoes on the line, on those little kinks. You want to talk about the kinks on the line?
The kinks. So you may remember if you were watching our coverage on Sunday, we had another line of storms that rolled through here, a squall line, QLCS, and we really have to watch those kinks along that main line where you have kind of that inflow and it tries to spin, and we get just enough of that shear to really cause some of those tornadoes to develop. And I'm sure from a National Weather Service perspective, those are really really pesky to try to figure out where exactly that velocity is and where it's trying to spin up. I can only imagine trying to put warnings on those lines.
It's very easy on your couch in your basement while you're eating Cheez-Its. It's not very easy when you're actually issuing the warnings on the desk. So when that line gets close, as Mallory said, that line will get here close to midnight. When that line gets here, you will see severe thunderstorm warnings guaranteed from the Weather Service. Now, then they will upgrade as necessary when they see what's called a line break between two big areas of rain. When they see a tag or a nub on the leading edge, it creates a little, like almost a little hook feature. You see that all across. You see the warnings up the wazoo up there to the west. That stuff will be here, gang. This is not hyped. Also, you notice all that red. What does that red mean? That means very intense storms with a lot of rainfall. We're maxed out on the rain. We're going to lead to a flooding threat.
Yes, and that's something that we're not only watching, of course, for tonight. We're watching that all week because if you have been paying attention to the forecast this week, we've been talking about how this cold front that's sparking all these storms will basically kind of stall out over us. And what's going to happen is we're going to get these waves of showers and thunderstorms kind of riding that same boundary. And as you know, day after day of rain, that's going to add up. Several inches expected, all of us included in this flood watch tonight through Sunday morning. So I want you to stay weather alert tonight, of course, for the severe weather threat, but I also want you to stay weather alert for the rain threat because we mentioned this in our previous stream. I think people tend to downplay flood threats, but it is a big weather killer, unfortunately. And oftentimes it's while you're in your car. So anytime we do say turn around, don't drown, we say that for a reason because we do not want you to drive around barricades, flooded roadways. You don't know how deep the water is. You don't know if the road is intact underneath that. So we really want you to stay safe. If you don't have to be out on the roads tonight, stay home, stay in your safe place. Let's get through these storms and we'll get through this flooding as well as we continue through this week.
Absolutely. I worry about the folks on the second shifts at UPS and Ford and GE. They're going to get off and it's raining like a monsoon. And don't dilly-dally. Go home, two hands on the wheel. Never, ever, ever drive through a flooded stretch of roads. It only takes a couple inches and hasta la vista.
And with tonight, too, with the damaging wind threat, we'll have to be worried about debris or down power lines as well. So just a good sign to stay indoors tonight. And I know some of you all might not need this information, but just a refresher because we do have a watch in place and we're going to be watching for warnings as well. So that difference between a watch and a warning, always good to have that refresh. A watch means, of course, we have the right ingredients for severe weather or the right ingredients for a tornado, which is why we are under a tornado watch. That's issued for a much bigger geographic location, several counties, parts of a state for several hours. Those warnings mean you need to take action. You need to seek shelter. You need to head to your safe place. So if you are under a tornado warning, you hear the sirens, you get the alert on your phone, that is time to head to your safe place. And of course, basement, best bet. If you don't have a basement, lowest level of your home, away from windows, an interior room, cover your head and stay there until the threat has moved out.
Yeah, folks, this is the time right now to have a plan of action. To talk to your family about what they do if the tornado warning comes out at 10:30, 11:30, 1:30, whatever it is. The one thing that is going for us is that the tornado threat is the strongest and west of us. If you look on this map that she's showing, all across eastern Arkansas, the entire state is under tornado warnings. Basically, all east, and that's heading heading towards Memphis. That line that goes east of St. Louis down to Cape Girardeau and everything, that's eventually going to get into the viewing area. That will become a problem. It might become a problem, it will become a problem.
Yeah, so that's what we're watching, kind of that 1-2 punch. So we have those few cells down to the south that we're keeping a close eye on that are currently in south central Kentucky. They're trying to get their acts together, but then the main line will definitely move through for everybody as we head into tonight. It's just depending on the severity of it. We're definitely going to have heavy rainfall. We're definitely going to have some gusty winds with it. It's just where we find those notches, as you're going to hear us talk about this evening and tonight, that will trigger some of those tornado warnings as we do get some of that spin upon that leading line there. So we definitely want you to stay weather alert as we head into tonight. I will show you a model because I know people just want to time this out, but I'm going to be honest, you know, they're not handling it the best. This is the HRRR, which goes a little bit crazy with the hail here. So you have those cells down to the south, and then you have that main line that we're watching to the west. This overproduces some of that way too much. This is 1 a.m. So are we thinking it's going to slow down to that extent? I don't think so. So that's kind of the issue that we're running into here, where we look at these rapid refresh models to try to give you an idea of the timing. But this is why we say just stay weather alert from now through the end of that tornado watch, which is currently in place until 2 o'clock in the morning, because we're going to be tracking this with you, this line of storms that's off to our west for the next several hours here.
Yeah, so the main threat, once again, you're going to get some severe thunderstorm warnings tonight. You will be getting some flash flood warnings, and the question is, will we issue any tornado warnings? The good news is on those Renegades, that rain that formed ahead of it really has suppressed them a little bit. They're still rotating, there's no question. If you look on the speed limit, you can see it's rotating. They will continue to put warnings out there and possibly upgrade to tornado warnings. But the main show is the stuff to the west that's going to be in here in a few hours. That will really be, I guarantee you will see some flash flood warnings. I guarantee you'll have severe thunderstorm warnings. And the question is, can we issue some tornado warnings on those nubs and kinks on there? And we may. You saw what happened Sunday night. Fairdale, Bullitt County, Breckenridge, Meade, and Spencer counties. Very similar setup.
Yes, so we're going to be watching this with you and for you for the next several hours here. Matt, do you have any questions that we should answer from the Facebook Live or anything you'd like to add?
I've been able to answer a fair amount of questions. We do have an update at UPS. They are halting Worldport Next Day Air operations. So that is going to...
That's a big deal.
Yeah, they are halting Worldport right
Yeah,
now.
all those storms coming in, they're problematic with those landings between 11 and 1. Not good.
Yeah, so that's a big update.
Yeah, that is.
All right, folks, thank you all for joining us on this stream. Once again, we're watching a few of those storms down to our south. We're watching that main line off to our west. We're going to be tracking this through the overnight hours into the wee morning hours of Thursday. And then beyond that, we are going to continue to keep an eye on our flooding threat through the rest of the week. So it's a long stretch of active weather here. We are here with you. We will guide you through this tonight. We will be doing more of these streams if necessary, but more than likely, we'll probably be hopping on the TV side of things at some point tonight due to some tornado warnings in our area. So we'll get you through those storms and we'll continue to bring you updates on air and online as far as that's needed. So stay safe, stay informed tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.